Oh,
Steve,
are we
start it off.
recording? Man, I need a haircut. Sorry. Welcome to Gaming with the Dad. And tonight we're actually talking with the dad. I'm the dad, Steve. That's the gamer, Zach, and we're going over UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus, which just wrapped up. I didn't
Yep,
even stay to finish to see the results for Joanna versus Michelle.
clear.
It was very clear that
It
Michelle
was
won that fight.
absolutely. It was UFC Fight Night 161 in Tampa. So hard. I actually thought they were pretty good fights. I was entertained the entire time. I had no issues with the fights. You said you thought it was boring.
All right. So as I'm looking back, I got to keep in mind here that my poor wife fell asleep during the fights. She's getting a small child to sleep, so we watched them in the dark, and I'm sitting in a very comfy chair. So
Mm.
the whole time I was fighting to stay awake, but it wasn't because of the fights. Now that I think about it, I like to refer to these type of fights as static fights, where
Okay.
there was just a lot of movement going on, but I wasn't overly like thrilled by them. But good fights on the card nonetheless. As I look here back at the card and what I lived through. Who's your notable mention for the night?
Um, I thought the Frivola Pena fight was. I thought
Ah,
that was a really good ad decision.
yeah,
And then obviously the Cub Swanson Crone Gracie fight. Those are the two. Those are the two that you would go back and watch second time.
yes.
The rest of the fights were okay.
So I'm not even gonna do a notable fight. I will say that Pena's stock rose in my eyes. Like his striking is slick. He
Yeah.
used this reach very well. Hats off to Frivola there. That guy, I was telling my wife, frustrates me. I don't have anything against him personally.
Uh huh.
He seems like a nice guy. But I do have something against the guys he's beaten who should have been able to put him away easily. I do not understand when I watch superior strikers lose to these type of people. Go ahead.
That guy, he couldn't get put down, man.
Yeah.
Pena hit him with a disgusting flying knee. That
And some really sharp jabs too.
his striking was slick. He hit him with everything I think he could have. I don't know if he hit harder, and he just would not go down.
Yeah, he did like an augmented rubber guard too at one point when Frivola had him
Actually,
on the ground.
someone tweeted out, and I tried to find it before we started. That's
Yeah,
actually called something. Like
yeah,
that's
it's
an
got a name.
man.
Let's see if
I
we,
wonder if I could find it quick. I thought it was this guy who did it, but could be wrong, and I don't take too long. I can't find it. I'll come back to it.
give up on that now.
Yeah, give it. I don't want it to be dead air.
Uh,
That
no,
fight was that fight was like the. I think that was an amazing fight
I don't
for
know how they
sure.
gave him the split decision. I actually thought Pena recovered really well in round one
Yep.
towards the end, which I would have gave him the edge for round one, and he dominated round two. I thought that was
Yes.
going to be a 10-8 round, but I got to be easy handing those things out because a 10-8 round means complete dominance. Like you just obliterated that person, pretty much like Joanna did to Michelle for 3 rounds
Yes.
of the fight. So, did you actually? What was the final scorecard on that?
The score was 29 28, 28 29.
Wait, no, 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 no. I'm sorry, on Michelle's card.
Oh, was 50 45, 50 45, 49 46.
There we go. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Y- Yeah, no, for Vola, but hats off to him, man. He looked good. He's
I
beaten
didn't
two
think it looked
guys.
that good. Ravola
I
looked
mean,
he looked
he look
okay.
he survived, and
He
he looked good
survived.
doing it.
And that was it. He survived.
I don't like to get into the conspiracy theories like in public, but his adopted home state commission tends sometimes. We've seen this in the past.
Yes.
I don't think he beat Pena to the punch enough in the third and final round to
Yeah,
give him that.
no. I'll give him the win in the first round, but
Yeah,
2 and 3 he lost. 2 he clearly lost, and 3 was it wasn't a clear win, but it also wasn't close enough to like go, okay, we'll give it to this guy.
yeah,
I thought very clearly he had won. He had won the first round. Looked good in the first round, but after that he looked bad. He gassed at the end of
Well, I mean, that tends to happen when you get popped in the face with a jab
Or because
nonstop.
he slammed Pena 3 or 4 times in that round too. You got to remember that.
And that was perfect strategy on Pena's part. That augmented rubber guard, whatever it was,
Yes.
he basically just held him in
Yeah.
that position, and he just lifted his weight up and dropped him with no real force impact. Good move on
Yeah.
Pena's part. Again, his stock went up. I'm looking forward to his next fight.
I agree. Let's get the first fight of the card. Anders
Oh
versus
yeah, your boy. You got to say his
your
whole name,
boy Eric Anders.
Eric
And
Anders.
I can't say the other guy's name because I don't have it in front of me
Well,
on my notes
that's
here.
that's easy to say. Obviously, you're not educated enough. Let me
Please
get this
say
in
it.
one shot. Gerald Meshukanek. Meshukanek.
They called him GM3. On on my notes here that I have up on my other monitor, I have him dubbed Meerkat.
Meerkat.
Yeah. I thought Meerkat was funny. I have a few notes on him here just from the first round. He got dropped 2 minutes into the first round.
Yeah, Meerkat did.
Yes, Meerkat got dropped. He had zero head movement in the first round. Actually, had zero head movement through the entire fight. He looked like a deer in the headlight. He had no emotion on his face, but his eyes were like.
But the strategy was perfect. He's like, I'm going to tire him out by letting him beat me up for the first round.
Nate Diaz method.
Yeah. Your boy Eric Anders, he's an interesting fighter. I'm not a fan of the way he holds his hands, and he's very stiff with his actually doesn't throw combination. He's just kind of a one puncher type of guy. But I'm sure if he focused on a little bit more of his boxing and maybe some kickboxing, I would like for guys to move away from Muay Thai, traditional Muay Thai. Just my preference. It makes him too easy of a target. I think he should work on his some slick kickboxing and traditional boxing. I think Eric Anders at at middleweight
Looks good.
Looks good if he can work on it. Definitely stay out of light heavyweight. So that's not the division for him.
He just came back from light heavyweight, right? He was at 185, went up to 205, back down to 180. You know what I noticed actually in the second and third round is that a GM3, he had really good like 1-2 combos that just kept hitting, but it didn't have enough power. It didn't have any power behind him.
So here's the thing, right? And they're gonna come after me right now. The skill gap between legit strikers and these guys, the chasm is very wide, right?
That's clear.
So when you see these guys in these type of static fights, like I described them, like Eric, what is his name? Eric Anders is hitting this guy with
It's
wild.
Your boy Eric Anders.
Let me say that with the right baritone. Your boy. Eric
you know why he has that nickname?
Why?
Because he wanted to hear Bruce Buffer have to say your boy before he said his name.
That's amazing. But I mean, those 1-2 hit combos look good because they were anyone else that has like some good movement. But again, I'm not a UFC fighter. These guys could come in here and literally legally strangle me to death, and there was nothing I could do to stop any of them.
I'm not saying I'm already on the run after this video, but
so that fight was just kind of like, oh wait, you know what? There was a notable fight that I wanted to mention, but it's not here. It was on the prelims, light heavyweight contest. Can you pull up UFC Fight Night prelims?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to watch the prelims. 5 minutes before.
Here he is. UFC Fight Night 161 prelims. Ryan Spann drops guillotine on Devin Clark. I think this is the guy I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I got that sent to me.
Yeah, Yeah, this guy looked really good at light heavyweight. I also like the fact that everyone was complaining about his composure throughout the fight. The fans actually started booing towards the end of round 1 and the beginning of round 2, and then he dropped the dude. You know? And it wasn't like he was being boring for a reason. He was just being strategical.
Okay.
It was, clearly they had a game plan and they implemented. So Mr. Superman Spann gets my notable mention.
From the prelims. Got it.
Yeah. Yep. And who's up next? Your girl, isn't it?
This is Dern versus
your future ex-wife.
Versus Amanda Hebus.
I'm not sure that's how you pronounce her name. Let's try it again. One more time.
I'm almost positive it's Amanda Hebus.
Really?
Yes.
Mackenzie Dern striking looks slick tonight, didn't it?
Oh, it was the worst. It was the worst. That's pretty much all of my notes. I also did notice that Amanda looked like she had stitches over her right eye super recently. don't know if you saw that. That was bad.
So what? Mackenzie Dern just pushed another human being out of her body.
4 months ago.
Okay.
Actually, like 4 months and a week
4 months
ago,
ago.
she
Oh,
gave
yeah.
she gave birth. I have that noted down here. I also
To
have noted
another.
down here that Mackenzie Dern can take a punch
Mhm.
because she got hit a lot. She got outstruck like 3 or 4 to 1.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. She had no striking. She couldn't hit a takedown.
Yeah.
She struggled immensely. Well, also I did notice that that Amanda she used her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt to keep the fight off the ground.
Oh yeah, she definitely slipped out of
Yeah.
a few of those transitions, and so here's the crazy thing, right? Amanda, another one, stuck to the game plan that they had outlined. Obviously, her team,
Yep.
they were like, we're not going into a guard, and if we get in there, we're not staying in there unless we're
Oh,
doing damage. And so I'm going to say this, right? In regards to beating Khabib, you're going to need a game plan that airtight, which is like, I'm going to get in, I'm
get
going to get
out.
out, and everything I do is going to be to inflict damage. So
Okay.
that's the point I always make about beating Khabib. You're going to have someone that's willing to commit to their game plan like this. No matter how hard you hit him that one time, you got to pull back, and say, okay, let's keep
Yeah,
touching him.
you can't get drawn
Yeah.
into the ground game with Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't hit him with one looping hook and go, "Duh," and like start charging
The
after.
the one person who's gonna do that though is Tony.
Yeah, I mean, after he
Tony
eats
will
a few
be
turtles in the parking lot, I'm sure he'll be capable of doing anything.
after he takes his sunglasses off inside the ring,
Yeah.
he's gonna be capable of
No,
doing
but you gotta
whatever he
admit,
wants.
Amanda, like you were saying, Amanda really stuck to the game plan.
She
There
did.
wasn't one point
Yeah.
where she wasn't touching Mackenzie and causing inflicting damage, and
Yeah.
it was really cool. It was cool
Yeah.
to watch.
It was interesting to see Mackenzie Dern from the beginning of the fight trying
Mhm.
to just hit her with that hard right hand to drop her. She
Right,
hit it once, she didn't
right.
get phased, and then stuck to the game plan, kept the fight up, kept hitting her, and just outpoint. That's all it came down to.
And again, with humility, like so I was telling my wife, I think with grapplers of that level, like jujitsu players of that level, and this is no disrespect, all respect to the craft. But if you're gonna be a fighter and you're not gonna focus that heavily on your striking and how to strike in the transition of a takedown, then at least get some power wrestlers in your camp that can show you how to get a
Like a
decent
takedown.
down, yeah, like a
Yeah.
power takedown. I think Mackenzie Dern also, this is not me, shout out to my wife, not an original thought. She might need to go back up to, what is it,
125.
125?
Yeah, she looks better at
Yeah,
120.
for sure.
She's
And
not fast enough for 150.
no,
It's cool.
because then I think,
Because you saw that in the main event.
yeah.
She was gonna get
I,
murdered
wait,
by either Michelle
were they fighting
Waterson.
at? Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely,
Yes, she was gonna get murdered by either of those women because their
absolutely.
striking is so much faster, so much more sharp, and it's way harder than anyone she's fought.
Yeah,
So she has to
absolutely.
go back up to 125, where she doesn't need to be as fat. But even at the top of that division, it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, you got, absolutely, you got fucking the bullet
The
waiting for you there.
maybe the single most technical striker in the UFC.
And you know what? I actually don't see a clear path to beating her anymore. Taking her down was the best that you had at that time. So now it's like, what do you do? Another thing about Mackenzie Dern is, I don't think this is it for her. You know what I'm saying? We gotta respect the fact that she came off of giving birth 4 months in.
Um,
I think maybe take a year away from the sport. Don't let Dana and them pressure you in anything, and really, really focus on your striking.
she has to do
Really,
that for sure.
yeah,
The only issue is you have to remember that she has lost. She's her only loss, right? She's the only loss
right.
in the UFC, but she's also missed weight like 3 times in a row before this
Absolutely.
fight. So
But
that
she
makes
came
you
in
look worse too.
yeah, she came in very light for this fight.
Came in
Yeah,
on weight. Yeah, she came
yes.
in on weight.
So here's the thing about that, right? This is obviously her fault for missing weight that many times.
Yes.
You have to take responsibility for that. But also you can't, get the fast track in the UFC. Sometimes it doesn't pay to come in with a lot of hype or a lot of smoke behind your name. And if she doesn't want to end up like another Ronda Rousey, in my opinion, the next step is, hey, let me take a step back. Let me bring in some people to make
Go
me
to boxing.
uncomfortable. Let's get some boxing going.
Yep.
Let's get some Muay Thai going. Let's get some wrestlers in here, people who are going to put me on my back and hold me in awkward positions and strike with me and make me feel uncomfortable
Yep.
so I can become a better fighter. You know?
That was my exact thought. She needs to go back to basics, start from ground one in a boxing or a kickboxing gym, work her way up.
We got this figured out, man. Let's open up our own gym. I'll never get on the mat though. Like I'm
only gonna be on the mat.
I'm gonna be the Greg Jackson of our gym. Like I'm way too deadly to be down there with you guys.
Oh man, you guys don't want to see me.
like quick jerky gestures every 3 seconds when I'm walking to the gym. So Mackenzie Dern, she'll be back. Amanda gets a shout out for slick striking. I thought her volume striking was good. You know I'm a fan of that. I love to see punches
she
and
had a
bunches.
really sharp jab too.
Oh yeah, really sharp jab and a nice hook. Very nice hook.
I have that noted here, and then also I had noted I had noted. Stop, Steven. You were in my head.
It's a place that I like to live. It's just me and the Penguins. My man Nico Price.
Oh.
Quick side note. My wife reminded me that I almost named our third child Nico. And she's like, look at how this guy turned out. Do you want that for our children?
He turned out amazing.
Yeah, Nico,
he just murdered a poor man.
Yeah, he's always one bear away from murdering someone.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
So this is what I have noted in here, because I didn't even start taking notes on this fight till the up kick. I was literally I had been typing that Vic actually just reversed that takedown into a dominant position. Was on top, was in a really dominant position.
Landed some good elbows,
had some good strikes, went up and had stood up and was going to go back down for more ground and pound, and got nuked. He got nuked, and he was out for a long time.
He didn't toss the legs to the side.
Yes, I had noticed that, because from watching Khabib, you notice how well he tosses legs to the side before he does anything.
Yeah,
he did not. He actually his foot that he hit him with, the heel that he hit him with, was under his arm, and then he took it out and hit him with it, and chopped him with it on the way down.
Let me ask you a question.
No idea where it was.
Obviously, it's easy to say that was intentional, but do you really think he trained that? He kind of dodged that question. Like, you really in the gym training up kicks? Like,
no, but it's an instinctive thing.
Yes, very instinctive. I just want fighters to be honest. Like the next time I hear,
because how are you going to convince someone to go, hey, by the way, can you just? I'm gonna lay here. Let me kick you in the face. I want you to come at me from like weird angles. Don't throw my feet though, because I don't think this guy's gonna throw my feet. I'm just gonna slip. Just what? No,
just watch your face right here, my foot.
No, I don't think he trained for that. But I also don't think it's a fluke thing.
Because, no, absolutely not.
You know, he knew what he was doing, but I don't know if it was 100%.
Poor James Vick, man. I was watching the fight build up for this the little doc. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I don't want to force anyone to retirement, but there's something definitely to look at there. Like when you're getting, something to look at. The guy's been knocked out in his last 3 fights. He's been knocked out.
He lost 4 in a row. He just went up from 55 to 70.
Yeah,
looked healthy.
Yeah, looked good.
But only take getting knocked out like actual. I also saw somewhere that he had said to one of the reporters that if he lost this fight, that it'd be.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like they were going to cut him, or he was on his own?
Yeah, the UFC doesn't really like when you go on a 4-fight losing streak unless you're BJ Penn.
That's my guy.
I know you and BJ go way back, for many different reasons. But you can't. You as a hardcore person, right? He's only a person that the hardcores really know. He's not a big name. He's not drawing people. He's not selling seats. He's an accessory to a card, which makes it better, but also doesn't sell, to the casual fan. And if he also
will go down in infamy as the guy that talked trash to Gaethje and called him, got smoked.
Gaethje's destroying everybody right now. So let's be fair. I think Vic's on his way out.
No, you mean on his way out of the UFC? You think he'll end up in Bellator or another?
Maybe
Uh,
one.
one. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. I'm not gonna say anything bad about one on
No,
here.
I'm not either.
Those guys are tied to gangsters. They're killing people. They're like the new Pride. You don't know. You don't know about one. Actually, let me shut my mouth.
One seems
I
like a bunch of great
officially.
people.
Yeah.
No, but I don't mean to like disparage it, but one has better fighters in the lower end of the weight class. So he actually at 170 might be successful in one.
Yeah.
So that was my only thought.
Yeah, I can't really see him doing too well in
No, not in Bellator.
Not if the end goal is he's gonna have to fight Rory or Douglas Lima, yeah.
No, he's gonna get destroyed.
Poor guy. I don't have much else to say about that guy. Moving on.
James Picorino.
Cub Swanson looked amazing returning to form.
Cub Swanson looked amazing for 2 rounds.
Yeah, he looked amazing for 2 rounds, and then he definitely started slowing down.
He gassed in that second round. Do you have a number of how many punches he landed? Was it? It was almost 200.
Let's see.
They both landed way over 100.
Yeah. So total strikes thrown was 296. He landed 143 of those.
Okay.
Significant strikes were 288. He landed 135.
Okay.
Also, Cubs stuck to the game plan tonight.
Yeah.
Outstruck him.
One thing I noticed is that every time his back was towards the cage, he would throw an overhand and pivot under and put his back towards the farther cage. He did a really good job at not being up against the cage because it was clear that, and Kron did this a few times, he was just going to get into him and jump guard.
Yeah.
Which did not work. Can someone teach that man some takedowns, please?
I mean, if he wasn't going to jump guard, if he got to that cage, he was going to do the same thing he did to Caceres, was try to wrap up his neck and then push off the cage.
Yep.
Or
punch him and then throw him over. Yeah. That's what probably his game plan was. But you have to be able to adapt to someone wanting to fight you in the center of the octagon.
Well, here's the thing, man. Cub had great movement. Cub is trained with some legit, a legit boxing coach.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name. I'll get it next time. But his hands were low. He was ready for the takedown. He was ready for a sprawl. But Kron kept it standing as much as he could, and Cub basically tired out from punching him to death.
Yeah.
Which was and Cub's striking will diminish in the later rounds because it's always going to turn into
so many punches, though.
It's going to turn into a brawl at some point.
Your car runs worse at the end of the gas tank because there's only fumes left. That's all he had. He threw so many punches. And you know what? I'll give it to Kron. Kron's a Gracie. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. He actually hit him with a lot.
I would never say anything bad about the Gracies. Please don't come to my house in Canada. Go ahead.
Yeah. He hit Cub with a lot, man. That was
when you go back and look at it.
That played a factor.
He got it with some clubbers, yeah.
Yeah, and he hit him with a lot of 1-2s on Cub's way in, and it looked good, but Cub looked exceedingly sharp.
So that was sharp. That is the type of striking that I'm hoping to see with Ferguson versus Khabib. I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it right now. I keep going back to this because I'm obsessing about it at this point.
They haven't even announced it yet.
I know, 5th time's the charm. That's how he gets beat. And I thought, props to Cub. He's a journeyman, owns his own gym now with Michael Bisping. Man's traveled all over. Yeah, they own a UFC gym together.
Oh, cool.
Traveled all over together. He's traveled all over different camps. He's always willing to go somewhere to get better. Shout out to Palm Springs, California. And he looked good tonight. I was hoping that he was going to announce his retirement.
Yeah, I think he wins one more. He does.
Yeah.
He just lost to Burgos. Yeah. And now he comes back in and beats Kron, and everyone thought Kron was unstoppable.
I didn't think that.
I didn't either, because people who can just do jiu-jitsu notoriously haven't been world beaters over long
Unless
runs,
you're Damian Maia.
Even then.
He's been beat badly sometimes. Yeah. I can show you some highlights of him getting dropped.
He's also really good, but here's a few things that I had noted. You notice Kron didn't come out to a song?
Yeah, he came. You know what that was?
He came out to an alarm.
That's from Silent Hill.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I recognize that alarm as there was a mission in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas where you have to go in and steal a Harrier jet. That alarm is playing the entire time.
So there's also in Silent Hill, in the game and in the movie,
Mhm.
when things are about to go horrible, that
Yeah.
alarm comes on, and that's when you know it's about to go
Okay.
demonic on you. It's yeah.
I thought that
He
was
never went
interesting.
demonic.
No, no. Cub got turned away from all the Gracie gyms leading up to this fight. I know we had talked about this in the last post cap recap.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me because he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And they had actually gone against each other in a tournament, and one of the announcers, I actually like the new guy. I know he's not new anymore, but the
Yeah,
guy I like him.
it
He's
was working with Bisping.
yeah. He brought up a good point. It wasn't like Kron was beating everyone in every tournament. You
Yes, and
know,
he
he's
also said
just
that their match went to overtime.
yeah.
They had to get that in
Yes.
overtime, so it wasn't like if Cub got taken to the ground, it was going to be over. We actually
Yeah.
saw that he got taken to the ground, transitioned into a favorable spot, and got up. And it
Yeah.
didn't seem like he exerted an incredible amount of energy in doing so.
Yep.
So there was that. The crazy thing to me in this fight was how many shots Cub Swanson took to
Through his
Kron's
body.
body
Yeah.
and hit him and hit him, and he hit a really hard kick to his body in like
Yeah.
the late first round, early second round. I forget what it was, and just kept going to the body. And it was a really good performance in striking it in that aspect too. Kron was just on effect.
So here's the thing about that, right? There's something to be said. I want you to go and look at boxers or what's this? Or go look at some glory fighters
Okay.
throw punches to the body, and then compare them to the body shots that Cub was throwing. Cub threw amazing shots to the body for MMA standards,
Okay.
but but if they were like, he's gonna come in here and he's literally gonna pop up behind me, beat me
Watch
to
out for that
death.
door back there. Steve gets dragged away.
Ah! Nicky Holtzkin. Holtzkin, I've always forget his name, but,
Okay.
you can ask King Cass, he's, like, king of the body shot. But, yeah, I think if the body shots would've been less looping to the body and more just digging in there,
Okay.
we would've seen a different result. But, again, he stuck to the game plan, man. Like, he was
Yeah.
throwing jabs to the body. You were right, he caught him with that slick kick to the body
Yeah,
as
it was
well.
hard too. It wasn't.
Yes.
It was really
Yes.
hard. I also
Yeah.
wanted to know before we get off of Kron here. He was really busy in the clinch. When he got him into
Oh,
the
yes,
clinch,
yes, yes.
he was busy the entire time. It was probably the busiest he had been in small stretches.
Yeah.
And then one of the announcers like actually said it that it's very Nate Diaz-esque. And that's where the
Yes.
Diaz brothers comes out because
Yeah.
they train together.
Yeah.
That in that clinch he was super busy. So I had that here.
Yeah, it's good. No, and it's good for him, man. I mean, this was a good experience for him. Again, I don't know how much time he spends with the Diaz brothers boxing coach. So that guy, I will
That old
totally
guy.
give the yeah, that man. I can tell you some horror stories about the way they've treated that man throughout their career.
I know you've
Like
said that.
from what I hear from like press and stuff, but obviously he loves them like sons, so he sticks with them.
Yeah.
But I think like with a guy like that holding mitts for you and being your boxing coach, maybe spend a little bit more time with him. Give yourself some more dimensions. But Kron was busy in the clinch. He reminded me for some reason of Daniel Cormier when I used to watch him in the Bellator Grand Prix. There was a point where Daniel couldn't throw a correct punch, but he always got busy in the
Yeah.
clinch right before he took you down. But how old is Kron? He's what,
31.
31?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's 5-1 now. I think he could maybe they rushed him a bit too much. Cub
I think
Swanson
Cub was
is
probably the
the
right fight. I thought
you
Cub
think
here
so?
was the right fight because
No.
they're in that division. You have to get by Cub to get into ranked, right? Rank status. So I thought it was probably the right fight for him especially after he annihilated that guy the last time he was.
Yeah, but if you look at like from Caceres to Cub, that is like a huge jump. I would have liked to seen him against like a Korean Superboy or something like that, who also dragged Cub into the deep waters. But I
Yeah.
just think I knew Cub was gonna win this fight. There was
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind
Yeah. I think I
that
did
like
too.
that Cub was gonna win this one because I just know that like he wasn't gonna go out like that.
Yeah.
But moving on to the main event, I don't have much to say about this, man. This played out, unfortunately, the exact way I thought it would. I
Yeah.
love Michelle Waterson. Do you know? I believe she was the champion of the atomweight division in Invicta.
Yes.
So
that's why before you joined the call, before we did this, Shane was asking what weight it was at, and I had to explain to him that Michelle Waterson's actually an atom. She doesn't fight at 150. If there was an atomweight division, she would probably be the champion.
Yes.
Yeah, but as I said I don't remember what video it was that we had released now, but I had said that I thought Joanna was going to win this because Michelle's a great fighter. She's a top 5 fighter or top 10 fighter, but she's not a champion at 150.
There's two, and here's the thing, right? Watching her strike with Joanna, you can see the skill gap there, and also Joanna's she's been doing this for so long, and Michelle spent a lot of time in Thailand training, but she's never really, in my opinion, taken advantage of the fact that she has a world-class boxer as a husband. Like I would, and I know I've seen them like spar before. I mean, not spar. I've seen them hold mitts for her before.
Yep.
But I just would have liked to seen her go to the body more, discourage Joanna. Because look at this. Who has Joanna ever lost a fight to, and how did she lose?
Lost to Rose.
But Rose didn't threaten a takedown.
Right.
Rose beat her with slick boxing.
Yep.
Because Joanna's a stationary fighter. She's not doing a lot of movement, and Rose is slick with her punches.
You know? You know what really impressed me with Joanna in this, and obviously we all know she's one of the best strikers as a female fighter. She threw like 6, 7, 8 like fight combos. It was insane. She would lead with a leg kick and then hit you with 4 punches and then hit you with a body kick. It was incredible, and it was clearly the way to beat Michelle. You have to stay outside of her kick range because she will put you away with those kicks.
Oh, she caught Joanna dead in the jaw with a head kick, by the way.
Yes, with a front kick. But it was too late in the fight. Was this the one in the 4th round?
Oh, actually, you know what? We almost forgot. She took her back a couple of times too. There was that one time. No, twice.
But once, really. Once, seriously. And that was that transition that she had from takedown to on her back to in choke was incredible. That was really, really quick. She took her down. It wasn't the cleanest of takedowns, but it was for what she wanted to do because she was able to take down, hit her knees, pop to her feet, jump to her back.
Yeah, and she almost got that arm underneath her throat there for a second.
It was close.
But back to your point about Joanna's striking, this is a huge shout out. I don't know how hard you follow this. European Muay Thai fighters and kickboxers are monsters, dude.
Yes.
Like I'm talking about from the Netherlands, even to England. Yes, all those people they're monsters, dude.
Incredible. They're incredible.
If she hits you with 2 punches, she's coming with a low kick. If she hits you with a low kick, she's coming with 2 punches. The only problem for her is if you're not there for that, she's gonna get hit with a punch she doesn't see coming.
She gets beat by counter strikers. That's why Rose was able to bait her into coming in, step to the side. She knocked her out with it twice.
So, what do you think? You think we see Joanna and Jang Chek versus the new current champion?
Yes. And I had another set of notes.
Why'd you make that face? Because you can't remember the champion's name, can you?
Is it Weili Zhang?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. So I do think we see them fight. I think Weili wins because she's a really slick striker. She's a really
very
slick
aggressive
striker.
too.
She's very aggressive. She'll be able to beat the pace of Joanna, I think. But I also had written down in another set of notes that this actually, if we think about it, it might be Joanna's last chance at a title.
So she would be one of few fighters to possibly run it back 3 times.
Right. That's the thing. The UFC, if you don't, you get 2 title shots in the UFC. And if you don't capture one of them, obviously Joanna was the champion. She defended it 5 times. We get that. But she lost to Rose. Immediate rematch Rose. She went up and lost to Valentina. And now she's going to get a 3rd title shot within 4 or 5 fights. 4th.
But
she's going to get third within 5
5
fights. Right? Yeah. She's going to get 3rd within 5 fights. That might be it. If she doesn't win again and reset that stock, she depletes her title fights, I think.
So the crazy thing about that is you always have a chance to get another shot as belt changes hands. But say in the instance of a Misha Tate, she lost twice to Rousey. Once wasn't even in the organization. I don't even know that Strike Force fight. And
Okay.
then you know, so that was it. She had been chasing Rousey since that point, right? Yeah. And then finally Holly gets to get the belt, and then boom, Misha Tate gets the fight because that's a billable fight there. Now,
Right.
if the belt stays in the same person's hands, you've lost to them twice. Like Joanna was not going to get another fight with Rose if Rose was the champion now. She would
Yeah.
literally have to have turned, and not that there are many people to turn away. And this is what sucks for the recruitment of women fighters in that division. But even if she turned away every person, no one wants to pay to see that fight.
Right. It's the same as DC John. No one wants to see that.
No one wants to see that old man get beat to death a third time.
Again. Right. It's just as many people out there who think they want that fight.
No, they don't want it.
Because we've seen both ways DC's going to lose.
Yeah, the only way I was watching that was I was coming and watching it for free.
That's fair.
What are you thinking about next week, man? I'm looking at the
next
card
week's
here.
Gonna be a good card. I think next week is actually an exciting. Have it pulled up.
So I got you right here. So we got in the main event, we got Dominic Reyes versus Chris Weidman. Dominic Reyes is of course 11-0. Chris Weidman 14-4. His notable wins are obviously against Anderson Silva, both fights, and then he went on to beat Lyoto Machida, who was probably juiced to the gill on steroids. It turns out, beat him.
Not probably.
Great.
Confirmed.
That was a great fight, by the way. If you ever want a good time, go back and watch their fight. And it was just like I had so much respect for Chris Weidman after that fight. Then he goes and fights another roid freak who was deflated from not having steroids, beats the brakes off of Vitor there.
Yes.
And then goes to fight Rockhold, and he wasn't doing bad in that fight. He just threw a ill-timed kick and got taken down. And that was pretty much the end of that. And then Chris Weidman, who did he lose to after that? He lost to Yoel. Beat Kelvin Gastelum, by the way, after getting dropped.
Lost to Jacare.
Lost to Jacare.
Card Musa.
Lost to K-Card Musasi. It was definitely time for him to leave the middleweight division.
Yeah.
And now he's fighting Dominic Reyes, a man who I'm not completely sold on. And if he beats Chris, I won't be sold on him anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I won't be either. But you do have to admit that the man has some power in his hands.
Yeah, they all got power in their hands at some point.
This is news to me.
I want to see Dominic Reyes against someone like Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
This is what I want. I want to see him. All right. So he beats OSP, and no disrespect to OSP and all the Omegas out there, but come on, man. Like he beat OSP.
It's OSP.
But I would definitely like to see him go against someone else. But Chris, he's gonna fight Chris. He's gonna welcome Chris into the light heavyweight division there. You got your boy Yair back on the card there.
Versus Jeremy Stevens. That's a good fight.
I hope he keeps that same energy that he had when he was threatening poor Michael Bisping. That's gonna be great.
Hold on. You can't call him poor Michael Bisping anymore. You have to refer to him as the right thing. Poor one-eyed Michael Bisping.
So he's threatening a handicapped person.
That's
even worse.
A handicapped person who has suffered years of brain trauma.
I like Michael Bisping, man.
Too.
I did not like him on The Ultimate Fighter. Go back and watch his season. He was a dick.
I've never watched any of them. But I do like he's a good personality. He's actually a really good they're not called a commentator. What the hell are they called?
Yeah, commentator.
Yeah, whatever. He's a really good voice. And because he's knowledgeable. He's been there. So it's really good to get his perspective on what's going on in the fight. I like when he's there. I like when DC's there. I like when Dominic Cruz is all right.
Yeah, you know what? It's not that I don't like Dominic Cruz, because I actually like him a lot as a fighter. I had a friend say horrible things about him once, and I was like, you know what, man? It doesn't really matter to me. Dominic's got great footwork, and even though his striking just makes me want to throw up sometimes, he makes it work because he's got really slick takedown. Yes, it's amazing. But we're gonna see Yair and Jeremy Stevens. I expect Jeremy's gonna starch this poor kid now because of all the.
Yes, I agree. Yep, that was supposed to be on this card. This one, this is the fight that got pushed back, right?
No, this was the fight that Jeremy Stevens, he got poked in the eye.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
He's gonna get started. Poor Yair Rodriguez is going. Yes. And then we have Greg Hardy, which I don't even really. versus some guy that doesn't even have a color picture on Google.
Yeah, what's up with that? My man Ben Sicily.
Who
Sicily.
cares? Can we give the shit lord Greg Hardy someone in the top 10 so then he loses and never fights in the UFC again? That's all I care about.
You forget the heavyweight division is also very shallow. Like
anyone in the
there's
top
no
10
one
would kill
there.
this guy. You could pull someone from 205 would beat him up. Not very good.
Let's get the shoe the beer drinker out the shoe. He should fight Greg.
Tai Tuivasa.
Yes.
That would be probably a pretty easy fight for him.
Or his evil doppelganger, the guy that I thought was him. What's that other guy?
There was a guy. Man, who was that? Was it it was Justin Taffa. Yeah. Give him someone who could actually fight. And then we have Lozon versus Jonathan Pierce. I think
Where has Joe Lozon been?
He was unofficially retired. He wanted to take he hasn't fought in a year and a half. I think he wanted to take time. Of 18. Lost. Yeah, he hasn't fought about a year and a half. I think he wanted to take some time to try to reinvent himself and decide if he wanted to. I feel like he's going to go out the same way he came in.
Yeah.
His like really breakthrough fight was against Jens Pulver when Jens Pulver was coming off of a loss after losing the title and then an injury. They gave him Joe because it was supposed to be a tune-up fight for him to get a title back, and Joe came in and knocked him out.
Yeah.
I feel like Jonathan Pierce is going to come in.
Just a little context here. Joe Lozon's been around long enough that he actually fought Kenny Florian.
Joe Lozon's been around for a long time.
Nope.
Yeah,
I don't know who Jonathan Pierce is.
He's been in the UFC since 2006.
Yep.
He fought Jens Pulver. They
actually had an unofficial King of Boston type scenario. That was the narrative they pushed for that fight.
Really?
Because it's weird to think that Kenny Florian's from Boston, right? You would think
he lost to Kenny Florian.
Yeah, he did.
You would think Jeremy Stephens in 2009.
Yes, he did. I remember that fight. Jeremy but he got starched by Ally.
Not many. His two fights with Jim Miller were amazing.
Who, Joe Lozon? Yes.
The Jim Miller fight's really good.
Yeah.
But he fought Anthony Pettis.
Yep.
At one point, Joe was on his way to a title, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was working his way there. And then he's actually a really good jiu-jitsu player. Actually, he's actually a really good corner man too, from what I hear from some of the fighters he works with.
Yes.
Who the heck is Macy Barber?
Macy Barber is the woman that Paige Van Zandt was supposed to fight and made the excuse of, well, no, she's not ranked high enough for me and it wouldn't be worth my time. Now she's been dodging her because she doesn't have a fight. That's Macy Barber. I don't know. Against
Jillian Robertson?
Yeah, this is her third fight in the UFC. She has not fought anyone.
Yeah.
Last fight was against.
You're not even going to be able to watch these fights, huh? Because it's on ESPN too. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
we'll figure something out. What does that mean? Dude, did you notice all the Cain Velasquez spots tonight?
What do you mean?
Cain was in a lot of commercials tonight.
Yeah, he just retired from the UFC. Why wouldn't they use him? They could use his likeness now, so whatever way that they want. He's gonna go fight Brock in the WWE, which makes zero sense to me. I've been tweeting about it for days. I was like, can someone explain to me why an MMA fighter is going to WWE, especially against someone that he beat the fucking brakes off of? He brutalized Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar was on all of the steroids. So
a funny thing about that, there's always been some speculation around the two of his losses in the UFC to one to Cain, obviously, and then to Uberim at the time. That Brock was having some serious health issues, probably caused by the steroids, intestinal issues, stuff like that. Yeah, he has like
a severe case of not colitis, but man, I don't remember what it is. But like you can't eat a lot of things because it screws
Yeah.
you with your intestinal tract. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was speculation there too, but I mean, he was on all of the steroids.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta take all of them, not half the steroids.
No,
All right, don't go
when
peak, man. I'm going
he
dog,
fought when
man.
he fought Mark Hunt, they took him out of the testing pool.
Listen,
Do you not?
don't go out for picograms. Just go
No,
out for
no, no.
straight
These were
grams.
gallons. These weren't even grams. He had milk jugs full of Tyrannoball, just going. Gulp, 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 gulp.
He looked like an Apex legend.
Yeah, man.
No, I mean it's good for Kane, man. Cash had that thing he showed us all on Twitch that day, and I was like, oh, this is very bizarre.
It was very bizarre, but more good for Kane. Go get your payday, dude.
Absolutely.
Go get your payday. Go out on top.
Yeah.
Make your money.
He'll probably make more in these fights than he did his entire UFC career.
Absolutely. Because he unfortunately fought at a time where they weren't getting paid.
And also he was not regarded as a marketable champion. So he was just considered too soft-spoken. Actually, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, the wrong type of people the wrong way. Actually, I won't say that. I won't put that on people. But his brown pride tattoo, you might not have been watching MMA at this point, but it was a huge point of contention, very divisive tattoo, especially given the climate at the time. There was a lot of so obviously the mainstay of fans were turned off by turned off by that. But good for him. Get his payday.
Absolutely. Get your payday, dude.
Let's scooch over to Fight Night 160 here.
No, hold on. We'll save that for next week. After the next week's.
All right, let me just talk about, because I'm pumped about this one. It's Damian Maia. This is not a fight for the casual fan, by the way.
No, this is a grappling
real fans.
Only I'm excited for this. I am actually excited for this. I want to see Ben Askren go at a grappling match
with Damian Maia. That's going to be pretty cool. Oh, my boy Michael Johnson is on the card. This guy always looks like he's just coming back from a gambling spree.
And then other than that, there is no one of note.
Let me see here. Some dude named Maurice Brown. Okay. Yeah. No. Frank.
Macho.
Frank Camacho. All up and comers. You got to give these people their chance.
Frank Camacho is 22-7. That's not enough. Dude,
he's 22-7. But where have those 22 fights been?
I don't know, because he's 30. He's been fighting 4 times a year for the last.
Did you look at my my other notable mention? The guy who will be the light heavyweight.
Yeah,
lightweight champion. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a name that you could say to me, and I know who he is. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch him.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got for the fights.
That's it. That's all I got too.
This is a short one. It was I don't know, man. It was an up and down night, right? So what's our takeaway from this? Michelle Waterson will never be champion. We can say that safely.
Unless they make a 105 division.
I'm not sure she would be champion there, because then you get a lot of people coming from the current division down there. So let's look at the landscape of people who she might be able to beat. She could definitely beat Angela Hill, who was also the Invicta champion at at 115, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I definitely think she can beat Angela Hill. I definitely think she can beat Tisha Torres. I think she already beat Tisha Torres, didn't she? Yeah. So maybe she could be champion. This was a bad fight for her, and I feel for her.
Said that 100 times. That fight, but it's hard to say anything. You want to win that fight. You want to win supposed to. Rebound fight for.
Who would you have liked to see her against? Because that's still a shallow division. Like, who would you see her against?
Andrade just lost the belt.
Yeah,
that would have been a good fight for her. She would have destroyed her.
Yeah,
but that's the only other person. Just lost the belt. Give her the former champion. Let's see who's gonna get the title shot next. That's pretty much.
What do you think? You think Rose comes back anytime soon?
I don't think Rose comes back.
She is a strange human being. Like, in regards to her fighting capacity, I think she's just immensely, just so talented.
She is.
She's
incredibly talented.
She leaves behind that, I would be extremely upset. There are people fighting in the UFC who I want to leave. and they won't leave.
I don't know why you talk about DC like this all the time.
Listen, actually, I don't want DC to leave. I'm gonna be pretty sad when he has his last fight. I hope he wins against Stipe. I will be actively rooting for him in this fight.
I want Stipe to win. I think that's it. I think that's all the time we have.
That's all we got.
We're gonna wrap up here. Yeah.